Overexplaining yourself is a symptom of constantly feeling misunderstood. But the problem with overexplaining is that most people see this as rambling or annoying, so this is what you want to do instead. And really quickly, hello y'all, my name is Jeanette. Welcome back to another video dedicated to help you break out of the cycle of toxic behaviors and relationships in your personal and romantic area of your life. If you like anything personal development or healthy relationships, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you can join our tribe. But in today's video, I wanted to do a deep dive into the symptom of overexplaining, the psychology behind it, and what you can do instead to break out of the cycle. Now, today's topic is actually something I'm super passionate about because I used to be one of those people that would overexplain everything. And one of the biggest reasons why I was doing this was because I was avoiding a fear. Now, for you, this might look different, but for me, this was fear of being judged, fear of being seen as incompetent, a fear of being seen as not good enough. And so to overcompensate for these wounds and avoid these fears, I would overexplain to make sure that the other person understood everything that I had to say. So I didn't feel like I needed to prove myself. But the ironic thing is that when you are over-explaining yourself, you are essentially proving yourself. Because you're trying to prove to them that I am smart, I am competent, look what I'm saying, look at how I'm explaining everything, and there's no way that you can misinterpret this. But it's that need of feeling understood, it's that need for this person to see my perspective exactly the way that I need it to, and if they don't, then I feel unsafe. My fears feel exacerbated, and my safety is essentially threatened. And if this sounds like you, I want you to comment down below, what fear are you avoiding when you're over-explaining? What are you so afraid people might perceive you as? Because we're going to take that and tie it into child psychology and understand where this is coming from in the first place. Why is this happening to me? Now, number one, if you grew up in a household where you constantly had to over-explain yourself to feel seen, heard, and understood, this is a habit that you start to pick up on because you are trying to feel enough. Right? And you learned that if I over-explain, if they just finally get what I'm trying to say, then I'm enough. Number two, if you constantly felt like no one believed you whenever you said things, people constantly doubted you or questioned what you were saying growing up, then this is also a habit that you'll start to pick up on because you start to feel like I have to prove myself. People won't believe me with the first thing that I say all the time. So I need to make sure that I'm credible and what I have to say is important enough. Number three, if your thoughts and feelings were constantly criticized growing up, this is also something that you'll start to adapt because you feel like whatever you have to say is not good enough because they're criticizing it. So how can I finally feel accepted and validated? And sometimes this results into over-explaining and trying to get your point across exactly the way that you're thinking it in your head. Now, if any of this resonated with you, I need you to know that it is not your fault. It is not your fault that you constantly had to prove yourself growing up, that people constantly questioned what you were saying, didn't believe you, and you felt like everything you said was misunderstood or misinterpreted. Now, one thing that I have to say is that you cannot make people that are dedicated and committed to misunderstanding you understand you. Because the truth is they've already made up their mind, and it's not about whether or not what you have to say is enough or valid, but it's truly about them being so focused on making sure that whatever they're saying is right, or that they don't want to challenge their sense of familiarity and comfort because this is what they've known their whole entire life. And if they challenge that, and if you challenge that essentially, it will feel like a threat to their safety. Some people may just not have that capacity to expand, to question, to wonder because this is just what they've done their whole entire life. And that's okay, because this just means that these people are not for you. And the more you try to prove yourself, the more you try to convince them, the more you'll feel like maybe what I'm having to say is not good enough. Maybe there is something off about what I'm thinking and I should change my mind. But no, make sure you don't fall into these three common traps that you may start believing if people are misunderstanding you. Because so many people think, number one, if I just explain it better, then they'll finally understand me. Because nope, that cannot be further from the truth. As I mentioned before, if they're committed to misunderstanding you, they will not understand you. And mistake number 2, thinking that more words or saying it better will actually get them to understand you. Now, sometimes this may be true if you learn how to articulate your words and express your emotions more clearly and directly. This is something that can help, but most times than not, what I've noticed as a relationship coach working with my clients is that your boundaries is something that is actually the thing lacking here. And it's not really about how you're articulating yourself, but it's more so about how you are presenting yourself. Because here's what's most likely happening. Because you feel misunderstood, you try to explain even more. You might even get louder. You might escalate the conversation and say, "Why don't you understand me? Are you dense?" And you get super frustrated and upset. And because of this, not only is this person now feeling attacked and not understanding you even more, but it puts you in a position where you feel like you're constantly proving yourself and people pleasing and not actually setting boundaries. And the thing about boundaries is that it's not just words, it's also your actions. And making sure that your actions are aligning up with your words, that what you're saying is true to how you're behaving, is so important. Otherwise, people just think that your boundaries are negotiable. So I want you to take a second to pause and think, do I actually need to over-explain myself and try to say the same thing over and over again for them to get it? Or do I need a actionable step that will show them that this is what I mean, that this is my standard? Because a lot can be communicated when you have a calm energy and boundaries rather than just trying to yell your point across to get them to finally understand you. And mistake number 3, do not let people misunderstanding you make you feel like what you have to say is too much or not enough. Now, this is actually something that I've also been guilty about in the past, and thinking that what I have to say is too much or not enough, because why else would people not understand me? Because sometimes it's either they don't have the capacity, or 2, it can be revealing something deeper within that we haven't healed yet. But it doesn't mean that we are not enough. It could just mean that maybe we are not fulfilling something that we are trying to fulfill somewhere else. Because we are only as needy as our unmet needs. And if we haven't gotten some needs met and we don't feel like we are getting that validation or feeling enough, there are other ways to getting these needs met, not just through external validation and trying to prove yourself and have other people understand you, but through yourself. And one of my favorite quotes that I always repeat to myself is that you don't need to prove yourself when you already approve of yourself. And this is where the healing work begins. So if you notice yourself over-explaining constantly in your relationships, your career, your friendships, and you finally want to feel understood and enough, it starts with yourself. It starts with reframing your inner narrative and creating that emotional safety. So if you're ready to dive into those practical steps, I'm going to have you try one exercise this week and comment down below your results afterwards. But instead of over-explaining, I want you to practice keeping silent and observing. Now, this doesn't mean weaponizing your silence and judging other people, but it just means to take a second to pause and observe rather than react right away. Because you'll notice that people that are committed to understanding you will ask questions, and that is the opportunity for you to share your part instead of throwing at them everything that you're thinking all at once, which can feel overwhelming sometimes. All you need to do is say your point, sit in silence, let it be digested, let them listen to it before you jump into, well, this means because this is this. Well, I'm only saying this because of this is it. You don't need to over-explain. Just say your point, and however they want to interpret it, they will interpret it. With that said, I hope this video helped. If you're looking for more in-depth guidance, I am opening up my group coaching cohort that is private for my ladies out there that want to get more guidance and support and heal with a bunch of women that are also on their growth journey. Link is in the description below, and I'll add the details below as well. But follow for more, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, you got this.